Hello and welcome to another episode. Woot woot.
Woot woot indeed.
I really feel that, Williams.
You're feeling the energy?
I'm excited.
I mean, you should. This is the Halloween episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Halloween episode. Not something we get to do all the time. And because it's Halloween, everyone should remember. We're gonna say it again. We've said it in the past before. Zoe the Zombie.
Oh my gosh. My favorite book. I've reread it 17 times today.
I know. And each time I'm like, wow.
All right, Starks. What's it about?
It's about Zoe the Zombie.
Yeah. And?
How she eats brains and she's a zombie and stuff.
Okay.
It's a children's book.
Okay.
It's right at your level. Have you read it?
No, because I can't read.
Well, maybe you should learn to read.
Is it?
I also can't read.
Well, as the reader of the group, will you teach us?
Yes, and I will teach you with that book because they are quite excellent. Written and illustrated by our very own Kelsey Starks.
She also illustrated our cover, by the way.
She also illustrated our cover, and for that we're forever grateful. But, I mean, it's Halloween season. This is a book about zombies. What better combination, you know?
I can't think of a better one.
So that's, it's on Amazon. You buy it off Amazon. And that's Zoe. Zoey.
And what's the first book called, the one you have pulled up?
Zoe Zombie. What do zombies eat?
What do they eat, Williams?
Starks, you spoiled it.
Well, we're not gonna spoil what she eats. That's the big spoiler. We're not gonna touch that.
Shh. All right.
But so definitely go on Amazon, check out Kelsey's book or books because I think she's got a few of them. They're excellent. Love it. Today is not only special because it's Halloween, but because we have a dear friend whose voice you heard multiple times already, being a little sassy.
I spoiled my own surprise that I was going to be here, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
No.
Well, that's okay. We still appreciate you, Craig, even though you did spoil it a little.
Our special guest today is me, Starks, the silly goose. I am here today as our special guest.
Wow.
That
Welcome.
too. And
Welcome
also,
to my podcast
yeah.
with Williams.
Thank you.
and here I am, Williams, the dirty dog.
I will have several questions for you I will ask over the course of this podcast to get to know you better. So
Good.
I hope you're prepared.
Good. So, Williams, who's your co-host?
Today, and he's going to be the main host here in a second. We're going to turn the time over to him, but this is Craig. Starks and I know him from the mission that we served for our church. A lot of fun. I wouldn't say anything else. That's
Why did that sound so sarcastic?
You know what's funny,
'Cause
Craig?
it was.
Everyone hears your name. Like
And
people
they
don't.
immediately-
They know nothing
Yeah,
about
okay.
you.
Oh, I
but they
okay.
immediately hate you.
You
Okay,
gotta
so-
preface with that.
So we've been really close friends for a long time. And Craig, every person, and this has happened across multiple different friend groups, multiple different states of people, like, everyone who hears his name immediately says an insult to him. Like, one of my roommates in Virginia was like, he's like, who are you on the phone with? And I said, Craig. He said, I hate him.
and they don't even hear a story either. It's just
Yeah.
simply my name is enough to set
That's
people
no,
off.
that's literally it. There's no like back talking or anything like that. It's just literally everyone I meet who I talk to you about, to the point where my brother pulled a major prank on him, and he's never he'd met him once, I think.
Yeah, I get the feeling this is going to be the lowest rated episode. Of
Just
Yeah,
because
probably.
it'll have Craig on it somewhere.
Probably.
Well,
People are like, oh, we've heard that guy before.
I wouldn't be shocked if they take it down if you put Craig in the title, so you probably better not do that.
Craig,
Probably.
a few months ago we went on a triple date. Starks, me, you, your wife, and then two girls that you brought. That's the $20 I owed you. Now-
I like how you said the two girls I brought, as if to imply I was on a date with three women, and you guys were just sort of.
Yeah, we
like-
were just
like-
kind of there.
Yeah,
It happens.
that's
I
not what
guess.
happened. No.
That's
That's
how
what
I
it felt
remember
like.
Hey, I carried my weight. I can't say the same about Starks.
Sure.
I just shrugged for those of you who are listening.
I mean, all the women were trying to cling on to Starks, but that's a different story.
Well, it happens, you know.
That's why we went mini golfing. We gave you the golf club so you could fight them off.
Oh, and let me tell you, I went through about 3 of them. They kept on trying to get past me to Williams, but I pretended that they were coming for me.
But yeah, that was the. I know. When he paid for the day, he's like, "Oh, just pay me back later or whatever." and he lives like an hour away. But I wanted to hand deliver the money to him, so he sent me his address. There were a couple times I was gonna come, but then I'm like, oh, you're at work. Then I started working evenings, so I'm like, wait, we're gonna have him on the podcast soon.
Nice.
And so
This is the
Williams just handed
opportunity.
him $20.
I think Stark still hasn't paid me back yet either. And we took you on another double date recently.
Oh,
As well. Well, it wasn't a double date.
Anyway,
he's keeping a tab.
back to the podcast. That was very important what Craig had to say. What was
Listen,
it?
all I'm
anymore.
saying is your families better appreciate the hard work I'm putting in, and better know that it's not my fault you guys are still single.
That's fair.
Ooh.
That's fair.
Listen,
Guys, listen. Craig used to be
we
single with us.
we appreciate
Okay, well,
the effort that you put forward, Craig.
we do appreciate that, Craig.
Anyway, I would like to turn to go over to Starks for a moment for our news section of the podcast.
Okay, guys, this is a new thing we're going to do. We're going to keep it fairly brief, but we're going to be going over news every week. And it's going to be news stories that we have selected. So in this week's news, first and foremost, Craig has lost his gallbladder.
yes.
And how are you feeling after your gallbladder loss, Craig?
Pain, much pain.
Fair.
I haven't slept more than like 4 hours a night the last 3 nights in a row,
Beautiful.
and I was all sorts of drugged out of my mind. Today I also went to the dentist, so if I sound particularly lispy,
That's how he
That's
sounds
why.
normally.
that's true.
Yes. Actually, Craig, if we keep focusing on your pain, we might get a lot more listeners.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
That's what we should do.
Oh,
I didn't even think about.
We should
that.
actually have an episode.
Listen,
where we
Craig's
torture
in
Craig.
pain.
All you do, yeah.
And it'll be like
Let's
just
tie
like
me up. Let's tie
double
me
our
up.
views,
Yeah. And
which
then
are already super high, by the way, in the millions or billions.
I'm gonna have to talk to you guys about what your views actually are after, because I've been curious, but I don't.
In the billions.
In the billions.
We'll
Okay.
talk to you about it. I'll give you a precise number afterwards, but it's in the billions.
yeah.
I think like 4.5 to right now.
He just keeps shooting up, so it's hard to pinpoint.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, by the time this episode's over, they'll have
Well, and it'll shoot down after this episode
well,
too. I'm
unless
sure.
we focus on your pain.
That's true.
But sorry, back to the news segment, and then we'll come back to Craig. So I have 2 other stories. One, they're starting a Florida Man Games in Florida, which will feature, among other things, beer belly wrestling and mud duels. And there will be an actual live police chase with real police officers. And then 2, there's a theft of 2 million dimes from the National Mint.
How did the guy walk out of the mint with that?
So,
That's so heavy.
can you
know?
do the math? How much is 2 million dimes worth?
Isn't it just 200,000?
I believe so.
Holy cow. Wait,
so,
you're
so
smart.
hang on. Let's
I was thought about that
calculate.
earlier when you said
we
it.
need to figure out how much a dime weighs.
Yeah, how much does a dime weigh?
Maybe I can type this into Google. How much does 2 million
I don't think that's going to work.
weigh? Let me see. According to the U.S. Mint website, a dime weighs 2.268 grams. So if 2 million dimes were stolen, that equals about 10,000 pounds or 5 tons.
Also,
They were taking a truck or a couple trucks and just filling them with dimes.
It's a, it's a lot of weight.
Yeah,
Starks,
that
I
is
don't
a
even
lot.
think, I dare say, even you could not lift that much.
really?
Yeah, shockingly.
Well, dang it. That really hurts my self-esteem.
It does. It's not a long trip.
Well, that's it for my section. Those are our most important news stories this week.
I mean, just from that, I learned a lot.
I know.
I'm going to have to start picking out my favorite Florida man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Which one is going to win this year?
Ooh, yeah.
Do they have the names submitted? Do you know? Like, do we know which Florida men are participating so we can
we don't
pick a
know.
favorite?
Well, so I don't know. I read the article. So far, I didn't see anything about contestants, but it was interesting. They're going to have like some pretty interesting games, it sounds like. Williams, do you have more, or should I just hand it right over to Craig, who's our host today?
Let's just hand it over to Craig into his capable gallbladderless hands.
All right.
Okay, really quick though before we do. So we mentioned in our first episode, how we were going to do a podcast with 3 of us and call it the 3 Joes. Craig would be the 3rd Joe, but he decided to get married and to not be in our podcast very often. Although we were still going to have him back frequently.
Yeah.
So, all right, Craig, over to you.
I now have people I would rather spend my time with.
I don't see
A
how
person
that works,
or-
Craig.
A person. Sorry. You're
Okay,
right. A
yeah.
single person.
Thanks a lot, Craig.
No, I'm
That makes me
kidding.
feel better that I'm number 2 or
That's
3.
why I made you guys
You know?
drive out here to me. Is
That's fair. That's fair. We drove to him because he was hurt from his surgery.
yes.
Oh, good heavens.
Okay, so I want to start this off with the name of this segment. Are you guys ready for it?
All right.
Oh, hang on, that's my medication. So the name of this segment is Wyatt's Mystical and Magical Mysterious Menagerie of Marvelous Wonders, or WMMMMMMW for short.
Woot woot.
And what we're going to talk about is this is our special Halloween
Woot
episode.
indeed.
So I have specifically three different brands of ghouls and ghosts and goblins and such. The first thing I want to talk about, aliens.
Ooh.
All right.
Aliens. Thoughts immediately.
Thoughts immediately. Big green head guy with antenna.
Certainly,
big smart.
Certainly, yes.
I think of all the Joe Rogan episodes where he goes off on talks about the alien. Like I've been looking at some different stuff. There's crazy stuff going on.
Do you guys think that there are aliens out there? What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the skeptic. I don't necessarily know. I feel like everything that I've seen is just so sketchy. And, everybody and their dog has phones now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like for me, I'm like, are there weird things that happen? Yeah. But also, is it in other countries like spy drone? There's so many flying things, so many
Exactly.
so much crap that's been around. So I'm going to play the skeptic here and say probably no.
I don't know. Even religiously, I don't think. Why would God just create one world? Even if all this stuff that people are seeing is fake.
Well,
But-
and I can hear an argument for that, but is
Would
that like...
God let
But
us
going
all
off on the
interact,
alien
though?
thing.
Yeah, but like also I don't think that's how you'd view like traditionally when you think about aliens, you don't think about just like humans on another planet. If
I
that's
do.
what you're referring to. Okay,
Craig does.
Yeah, I said traditionally. We all know you're not traditional.
It's true. It's true. I wonder because always when they think of aliens, they think of like super advanced aliens, right?
Yeah. What if they're just like
What if they're just like stuck in the Middle Ages forever, and so they just are like killing each other with like swords and spears and like trebuchets, and we're like, wow, they're watching us. Meanwhile, they're just like dying from like
Like in the
dysentery on whatever random planet they live on. You know what I mean?
That's
Fair.
funny.
I know that, it just doesn't make sense to assume that they have super advanced technology. I don't know.
Mm.
But if they did, what kind of like alien technology would you hope that you could like? Okay. I'm going to set the scene. All right. Here we are, three gentlemen. We are sitting in, is it New Mexico? The New Mexico desert. Area 51 is open wide to us. And we're allowed to each go in and steal one piece of alien technology. Which piece are you stealing?
Easily either time travel or teleportation.
Teleportation would be awesome, but what if they don't have that? That's why they have UFOs, because they can't teleport. Starks.
Well, do you have an active inventory of what they have, Williams?
They've got to have
Let
guns.
me
Then I
pull out
think
my
we could-
paper here.
They really are. Yeah. Craig's secret paper.
Okay.
Don't mention your paper on the podcast. They'll come for us.
Oh no. Okay, here's the thing with the teleportation is it depends on the type of teleportation, because I don't remember what it's from, but there's like that one teleportation thing where like they make a clone of you and then they like disintegrate the real you and then just, oh, you're in the clone now. Meanwhile, it's like, are you actually that clone, or is that just a clone and you just totally got annihilated?
I don't like that.
That's the atomic reassembling way of doing it.
That is hilarious.
Because that's why I'm like dubious about teleportation. Because I don't
You don't know if it's you.
know if it's me on the
Well,
other end.
another thing about that is that, and this is a problem with teleportation. How do you know exactly where you're teleporting to? And if you teleport into like a place where an object is,
Yeah, you become merged.
and you die.
You
So-
don't know that.
So I suppose a teleporting spaceship, so I could teleport to space near things and then fly in and
Yeah.
land.
That's not bad. I think you guys are sleeping on the like magical robot juice, right?
The magical
That you
robot
just, like,
juice.
The nano machines that you can inject and turn yourself into a robot. That's what I would steal.
Well, let Williams answer first. He
I
hasn't
want to be a
answered yet.
cyborg. Oh, okay. Sorry, Williams.
Well, I was gonna go along the lines of a gun, but now that you mentioned all that other cool stuff, I'm
Now
like,
you're
wow.
down for the robot juice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because you
You could live
imagine,
forever.
yeah.
No health issues. You
Possibly-
don't need a gallbladder.
I mean, life without emotion wouldn't be great, but also
Williams, you already lived that life.
I'm stone cold.
Might be more beneficial than feeling alone. Sorry,
Yeah.
too soon.
No,
Too
it's
soon.
my
I
entire
don't-
life. There's no.
Yeah, there's no real like ending for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There will be
Except
one.
becoming a robot.
Don't worry,
so there
Williams.
you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I
Thanks
don't
for
know.
making it sad, Greg.
Sorry.
Good job.
It's a Halloween episode. It's supposed to be spooky.
Yeah.
Williams, are you scared of dying alone?
I am now.
That's the next topic. Is your greatest fear or your irrational fear? Maybe.
Is that right?
Yeah.
About aliens?
I mean,
or,
unless you guys want to keep talking about aliens, I don't know.
I just have to say,
Aliens are interesting.
concerning
but
this whole robot juice, I think what you're talking about is like the nanotechnology they talk about that like can heal you instantly or whatever.
But I'm talking like, let's say it you inject it and it like replaces all of your cells slowly over time with robots. So eventually you just get replaced and have like a fully robotic body.
Would that be better or worse?
So, I mean,
how are we powering
how
these
do you
little
feel?
nanobots?
How does that affect the way you feel and are?
I don't know. I'm not. I've never injected
Craig,
it.
I thought
Look.
you had all the answers.
No, I have the ideas. I'm the ideas man.
Oh.
But we have to make up our own answers.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then I select from your answers to decide what is preferable.
Fair enough. I think that unless I knew exactly what the robot juice does, I probably wouldn't take it. Because if I knew that it, if I knew that it was like not gonna make it, so I didn't have any feeling, then I would maybe be tempted to become a robot man. But
Yeah.
like if I could be like the $6 million man type of thing, if you guys are if either of you guys are familiar with that.
A little. I didn't see the show, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I have an idea. I don't know.
It's
whether or not
basically
it's
this
true.
like guy who's a bionic man. He's like from the 60s, so it's super cheesy like the show.
Nice.
Maybe not the actual 60s, maybe it's the 70s.
Preferable.
But like he like can jump super high and he can like punch really
Yeah.
hard and like just like
Exactly. Yeah. But
And
then you
so-
still have your normal human emotions.
but he's still a human, yeah.
Yeah.
And so like it's funny too the show
Or
you watch,
Inspector
it's
Gadget.
Like, it's like the one, yeah, or Inspector Gadget. It's like he jumps and they make the sounds like choo, like this, like the 70s sound.
Nice.
It's so funny, but
We should watch that sometime on
let's
the
do-
podcast.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Critique it.
join in with no vision, just with our
Exactly.
commentary?
Just follow along.
Fair.
Okay. All right. Aliens, boring topic. Everybody knows. So what are your biggest fears or irrational fear?
Oh, irrational fear?
I've got a very silly one, but I'll save it for last.
Go ahead, Williams.
See, that's hard because I've been thinking about this a little. I think the most irrational my fear gets is just more of a general thing, like, oh, did I lock the door?
That's rational though, because
That's
like if
rational.
somebody was to
Wait, give us something
But
silly.
when you
could break
check it
into
a
your
few
house.
times, like to double check, it gets to be irrational.
I
if
guess
you're,
that's fair. Yeah. If you're overly
yeah.
consumed by it.
Yeah, but
And
pick
I'm not
something.
always
Pick
like-
something a little bit more irrational.
See, that's the.
Williams
I'm trying
is
to think
just-
of an animal I'm really
he is
afraid
the
of.
rational man.
Yeah.
He
You've
just-
heard of the natural man? Williams is the
the
rational.
rational man. Yes. You should probably get a cream for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get like jump scared at when I go to like a haunted maze or something,
By what? What scares you the most? Are you afraid of
Well,
zombies?
it's only
Okay.
the jump
Are you afraid
of
the
part because I know that they're not this dark, Craig.
It's not very
Okay.
dark, is it?
Okay. Here. Let me add on to your question, Craig.
Okay.
Zombies, vampires. Give me some other mystical creatures, Craig.
Ghosts.
Ghosts,
Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness monster. demons,
Oh, maybe.
and unicorns. Don't forget
I
about
was
unicorns.
gonna say unicorns earlier. We're on the same-
Yeah, exactly. Locked in.
Listen, they have that
Which
gigantic
one-
horn
William-
that could just impale you.
Williams, you have a 12-gauge shotgun. Which one are you fighting? Or which one are you not fighting? Which one was the one that you choose as the last one to fight?
Yeah, you have 6 shells. You can only shoot all but one of the monsters.
Before they get woken up, and then
wait,
you have
no,
to go
'cause-
hand-to-hand combat with swords.
Oh, okay. Well, Loch Ness Monster is probably the one I'd shoot. Because I feel like...
No, is that the last one? The one that you...
You know what I do hate? This might be the irrational fear. Is I'm not afraid of water itself as such necessarily, but sometimes you're like, you
get
don't
that-
know what's in the water.
Thalassophobia. Yeah.
You know, there's that one story of the underwater welder in the Mississippi River or whatever who sees a catfish that could probably swallow a car.
Nice.
And I'm like, who knows where else that is?
So are you saying, is your answer Loch Ness Monster then?
Well, I
You
think
took
his
these
answer would be
irrational
any
creatures,
sort of sea monster.
And he immediately was like, catfish are scary.
No, catfish are delicious.
Okay, I think you're right on the.
But I'm saying, yeah,
because if you're swimming on the surface, just doing your own little thing, and then all of a sudden you get annihilated by something you don't see coming.
That's
from
like
underneath you.
every good horror movie.
Yeah.
They're like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a ton
I mean,
of
if
horror
you
movies, but
because I've definitely been out on like the lake and just thought about it for a second. And I'm like, oh,
you don't know what kind of
I would have
fish
no
are in there.
defense.
Yeah.
I'd
Fair.
just be
Somebody
gone.
let their pet alligator out, and
Yeah. R.I.P.
Fair.
That's,
So,
that's a good.
I guess
one.
that's kind of an irrational fear.
I
Yeah.
respect that.
Williams is afraid of water. Okay.
very, very good, Williams. Okay, so this may not quite line up with the Halloween episode, but there was a golden bowl that they used to use like way back. I can't remember the timeline to torture people, and what they would do is they would put people inside the golden bowl in fetal position.
The brazen
And
bowl.
the
yeah.
brazen bowl, and then they would heat it up so the people inside burned alive while they were in fetal position inside this brazen bowl. And that to me just seems like the stuff of nightmares. I'm like, that would probably be my biggest irrational fear, is that somehow I would wind up in the brazen bowl.
I think torture methods. That's a pretty bad one. I think
Yeah.
the worst one, in my opinion, is where they get to like they stick the rats in the bucket and then they stick the rats on your stomach and then they like heat up the one side of the bucket super hot so the rats like try to dig out through you to get
That's
to get
terrible.
to safety.
Did you not heard that one?
I
Steve?
hadn't heard that one.
Yeah.
I've heard of
Welcome to
anthills where they would cover people in like honey and put them on anthills, tie them up.
Yeah.
That'd be cool too.
Williams is afraid of water, but you
but
talk about
loves
ants.
I'm not
he's like,
afraid of
whatever.
water, but
Williams,
torture.
but sometimes I worry about what lurks beneath.
Starks, that's soda. That doesn't,
One time-
doesn't work.
Craziest
Dang it.
thing ever. My dad and I were fishing on our canoe, and he like latches on to something. It's like a fish, and it starts dragging us along
Nice.
for a little bit, and we're like, oh, there's something quite large in this water.
Yeah.
I wasn't like freaking out, but I was like,
but you kind of were.
I was a little concerned.
Yeah.
Maybe that's irrational fear, or maybe that's
One time I
Turns
pulled a
legitimate
prank
at
on
some
Williams
point.
and his dad when they were fishing.
Yeah, where you
Let me
swam
tell
in the
you,
water.
scuba gear is expensive, but it was worth it.
Nice. So what we've learned so far is Starks, if you really want to get to him, you need to like kidnap him in his sleep and like tie him up in the fetal position.
inside a
And
brazen bowl.
And that'll really you really got him with that one. Really pranked him good. Okay. Are you guys ready for mine? I might have told
Yeah, tell me.
either of you this independently. I have like an irrational fear of stairs. Like the amount of nightmares I've had involving stairs is ridiculous.
What
Well, 'cause,
aspect
like,
of
okay.
stairs?
So
Okay, wait. Quick pause.
yeah,
Perfect movie quote for this moment. Kung Fu Panda.
yeah.
Ah, my old enemy.
Stairs.
Stairs.
Yes. No. Okay. So I think my problem with stairs is like when you're at the top and you can look over but you like can't see the actual stairs going down. You don't know how far down it goes. You don't know what could be at the bottom of the stairs. You know.
So like you're talking about like a basement stair.
Yeah, like
almost.
basement stairs. And like if you ever turned off the lights in the basement, you have to run up those things. Those things are freaking terrifying. No, and I remember one time the amount of nightmares I've had involving stairs is off-putting. But like there was one nightmare that I had where I was standing at the top of the stairs, talking to my mom in the kitchen, and my brother, who's just like a shadow at the bottom of the stairs, just sort of standing there in like classic shadow position with his arms down to his side, and he goes, "Hey Wyatt, let's go play a game." And I go, "Yeah, I'll be downstairs in a second, Shane." And then my mom goes, "Who are you talking to? Shane's not here. He's off he's off somewhere else."
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So that's one. Another one.
That was a nightmare?
Yeah, nightmare. Another nightmare that I had involving stairs is I was locked in like a padded cell, like in the loony bin.
No, that one happened.
Oh, I know. and they were trying to break me of my fear of stairs by locking me in the padded cell
with stairs.
with stairs that just go down. One side of the wall has like access to stairs that just go nowhere. But I remember sitting there like curled up with my back against the wall, just staring at them, and like in my mind I could picture just anything creepy just crawling up those stairs. Like it was scary. It was real.
It sounds scary.
It was brutal.
Is that how you want us to break you?
Also, that
fear?
sounds like a future
No, I
image.
don't.
Like it sounds like this fear just grows.
I think
over
so.
time
I think it will dominate my life
until they like use the most bizarre form of coping. They're like, let's put you in a cell with what you fear most.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a prediction
And
of the
tie
future
your
right
arms
there.
to yourself
in the dark.
in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay, let me build on this. It's not the same, but this is what I thought of. I get very uncomfortable when people climb stairs after me.
Yes.
Because I think, here's my theory. I don't remember anything happening like this, but I have a lot of siblings, and me and my siblings, like all siblings do, would fight or do whatever. I think when I was a kid, I was climbing stairs in front of somebody, and somebody grabbed my ankle, and I hit the stairs super hard, just like right on my face. Because when people climb behind me, it doesn't matter who it is or how comfortable I am with them. I just have this image in my mind of them grabbing my ankle and me just full biffing it on the stairs.
That brings me to the other like irrational fear. Have you ever laid there like late at night, lights off, you're just sort of unsettled, and then you think I should get up and get a drink, but then you think, but what happens if I swing my feet down off my bed and somebody grabs my ankle from under my bed? Like that is another one of those universal fears.
When I was a kid, I would read the Hardy Boys mystery books,
and
sometimes like they would get kidnapped or something. So I'd be up late at night reading this
Oh,
book
no.
about like one of them getting kidnapped or something. I'm like, I'd have to go to the bathroom, like you were saying, and it was on ground level, and there's a window in the bathroom. I was like, not even gonna look into those curtains.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, because on the one hand you're like,
'Cause it
no,
could
I
be a
don't
guy
want to
just
look at the
waiting out
window.
there.
But also, like, if you don't look at the window, then you don't know what's out there, right? So you're at this catch-22 of like.
I'd
being
rather
too
not
afraid to
know.
look.
yeah. Well, one of my little brothers, this is he won't be named because many of you or some of you will know him. But my little brother used to get scared by a lot of things, and we shared a room on the second floor. And one night I woke up and he was in my bed sleeping next to me. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was freaked out. And he said that he saw a face in the window of our second story bedroom. And just like was panicking as all get out. And I was like generally used to him getting scared of some things, but I was a little bit like, okay, that's very creepy.
Yeah. I one time when I shared a room with my younger brother too, I was on the top bunk, he was on the bottom bunk, and my like comforter fell off in the middle of the night, and I was cold, and so like I look over and my comforter's just rolled up, just hanging there like in the middle of the air, and so I reach over to like grab it, it falls to the side, and he's just standing there staring at me. And so I freak out and I roll up against the wall, and I feel him trying to climb up on my bed.
Oh my god.
That is awful.
It was so sketch, dude. Not a fan. Not a fan. This can
Wait, was
transition.
he awake?
I don't know.
Or was he like sleepwalking?
I'm guessing he was sleepwalking. It was bizarre because he didn't say anything and he just sort of stood there really weird. It was so.
Oh my
creepy.
gosh.
Forever engraved into your mind.
Yeah. So this kind of brings us to the topic of ghosts. Now that we've covered aliens and fears, what are you guys' thoughts on ghosts?
So, if you gave me the same list that we gave Williams, I probably would have killed everything but the ghosts. Or no, I would have killed the ghosts first, is what I meant to say. I hate ghosts.
Yeah.
I hate, first off, they're not tangible, so you can't fight them.
Exactly.
Like a vampire, I mean, maybe they're like superhumans, and maybe I have almost zero chance, but I have a chance.
Yeah.
Same with zombies. Zombies, they're not superhumans. If you're fighting just one zombie, it's just kind of like you punch them in the face and their head falls off.
Yeah.
If you're fighting thousands, that's when it's the problem. But all that sort of stuff. So for me, I hate ghosts. Like, I had friends in high school. That was a lie. I knew people in high school. Thanks, Williams. Just kidding. But like, people in high school would be like, "Hey, you want to go to this like haunted house or blah 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 blah," like the old abandoned houses. That were supposedly
Starks was
haunted.
popular. Everyone wanted him to go with him.
I was invited.
All the women
time,
were
of
asking,
course.
like, "Can I hold your hand?"
Yeah.
And I would be like, "I'm sorry, this is only for one woman," and I haven't held a woman's hand to this day.
Still looking.
Anyway, on to the next one.
I'm gonna interject here. That's not true. We all know it's Starks.
Okay. I did one time shake a woman's hand when I met her for the first time.
My goodness, Starks.
You.
Craig, my little sisters listen to this. Let's use nice words.
Oh, sorry.
We'll cut that
Girls,
out.
don't say that.
We'll cut it.
You
Okay.
man whore.
Thank you, Craig. That's much better.
Is that tamer?
That is
You.
much more
What's
tame.
the word I'm actually looking for? You skank. No, that's
That
not the one
works.
either. What's the old timey one? You harlot. That's
Harlot?
you harlot. Sorry, I'm teaching all your sisters the worst words I can think of. It's a Halloween episode. You're lucky I'm not swearing all over the place, okay?
Is that a Halloween tradition? Just swearing?
Just get as vile as possible.
Back to the story.
Sorry.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. So back to the story. So all like people in
High
high school would be
school.
like, "Do you want to go to these like haunted mansions or abandoned houses?" Or on Halloween, one year my brother went to a graveyard at midnight, and they all left, and I was like, "No freaking way!" So I've always avoided that stuff like the plague, and on the few rare occasions when I've been like kind of semi-faced with it, I like get out of there as soon as I possibly can.
I'm so annoyed with myself. I was going to get you guys a gift as your first guest on the podcast. I was going to get you guys a Ouija board.
Oh, really?
Are you serious?
Yes,
Oh
I was
my
going to give you
gosh.
guys a Ouija
That's
board.
I'm so glad you didn't.
I was.
I'm so glad you didn't. I would have thrown that away.
I was going to say like.
You're not invited next Halloween.
Yeah.
Dang it. Because my whole plan was to give it to you guys at the end as like, oh look, we can just your recording space is so vacant and bare. Why don't you hang this on your wall? And give you a Ouija board, but oh well. Next time.
Well,
Next time.
Considering this is
be
your
on your
space.
podcast.
you're never coming back, right?
Dang.
What was going to be a repeat guest turned into a one-time wonder.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Williams, what are your thoughts on ghosts?
I don't. You know, with ghosts, like just thinking of them as people who have passed on,
Mm.
they don't necessarily inherently scare me.
Mm.
They kind of more make you feel bad because it's like I think the general perception of ghosts is they're people who didn't finish what they're supposed to do or whatever, and so it more just like makes me sad half the time.
Quick pause. For those of you who don't have a camera, Craig just got the most evil look. As
Yeah.
Williams was saying
Like the
that.
smile on his face,
It's
he has his
literally
hands
like-
together, like
yeah, he clasped
you know,
his
like you'd
hands
think an
together
evil
like a villain.
mastermind, just
Yeah.
sitting there.
So
Sue.
Williams, what you're saying is ghosts who have not completed their life task just makes you feel sad. Okay. There's a man I can think of who didn't complete his life's goal, and he's dead. Adolf Hitler.
He could be a ghost. I don't...
That makes you sad that he's still hanging around, does it?
Does that not make you sad? No. It's not always the fact that, but it's like, oh,
Williams, I
know-
did not know that you were a sympathizer.
I'm not a sympathizer.
How dare you, Williams?
No, but it's just like generally the concept of ghosts hanging around.
Uh-huh.
Now, if we get into
Yeah,
specific
go ahead
cases,
and
if
back
we
it up.
get
3
into
episodes
specific
in, and
cases,
we've already got
We
cause
just
to
got
call you a
canceled.
Nazi.
Good job. Yeah. Williams, listen. Go ahead and try and backtrack. Make your little apology video
for what?
where you dance around being actually apologizing and say, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, you make sure you like pet your dog in there so people get those
Yeah.
sympathy points.
Or bring like kids in who are your kids. So people are like, oh, he has a family. We can't cancel him.
I don't have a family, guys.
Oh, well,
I mean, I have a
Well,
family,
there-
just
there
not
goes
my
your-
own family.
There goes
you know?
your appeal to people's sympathy.
I don't have children.
so my thoughts on ghosts. I line more up in the Starks category of like they kind of freak me out.
Mhm.
I think I've told at least Starks this story. I remember I told Starks this story. Okay, context. Once upon a time, Starks and I were dwelling in the same house one
Abode.
night. This
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
very sketchy.
Oh, no. Craig, we promised never to tell anyone about this, and we've told everyone about this, and now
It's
you're
'cause
telling this on a podcast.
It's because it's funny. Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
So Starks and I, how old were we at this time? I was what, like 22?
Yeah.
Starks was like,
I think I was like 19.
okay, so Starks was 19. No, then I would have been like
Wait,
21.
are you talking about
No,
on the mission?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
have been
on
20.
mission. Yeah, so you'd have been
So
like
I'd
20, I
been
would
like
have
20,
been
even
like 19.
19. And we were sitting there late one night on what you call exchanges or splits. Like I don't know what the technical term is. Listen, I was terrible.
Exchanges.
Exchanges, right? And so we started talking about spooky ghost stories.
As
and
you
stuff.
do at night, yeah.
And we both got so scared that we had to sleep with the light on in the hallway.
Really?
Yeah, we just left the door open, left the light
Actually,
on
now that you
all
say that, I
night.
think Starks told me about that.
Yeah. So it happens. Look, you just get scared sometimes. So the
You know,
story,
that happened when I was like maybe 14. No,
Yeah, right. One day you'll understand.
No.
But it's okay to be scared. Okay.
no, it's not.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I'll tell you the story that I told Starks, and you can decide for yourself whether or not it's worth keeping the lights on. Because to this day,
Are you
I
gonna
don't
turn
know...
the lights off right now?
Oh yeah. Set the mood.
Okay.
Okay. So I was in my grandparents' house. They have this door that like leads down into their basement, and it like is one of those doors that closes by itself.
Oh yeah.
And that thing kind of like slams. It doesn't just sort of like gently close. It like slams. And so I go downstairs, and they have like a basement little platform landing, and then you turn a corner and you go down into their sub basement, where they have like their movies and all that sorts of stuff. So I went down to the sub basement. I was 18 at the time, so already like I'm not just some kid, and I'm looking for, I believe it was Kung Fu Panda, and How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm sitting down there, and I just get this eerie feeling that there's somebody in the room with me, and there's nobody else in the house. Like I'm the only one over there. My grandparents are like 2 hours away, and I'm the only one there, and I just get this feeling that there's something in the room with me. It's very eerie. So I find one of the movies I'm looking for. I don't find the other, and I'm just like, okay, I cannot stick around here any longer. I am like dying. So I go up the stairs to the platform that's the basement, and I hear a loud bang down in the sub basement, and so I turn around and I run up the other stairs to the top, and I hear stomping coming up the stairs behind me. And I get like halfway between the front door and the basement door, and I turn around, and the basement door is jammed halfway open. And
that never happens.
Because it closes automatically. And I freaked out. I just went out the door. I didn't turn off any lights. I didn't close the door. I called my dad. I had him go over and lock it up. I was freaked.
But how old were you in there?
I was 18. I was
were you 18?
Yeah. Well, and I don't know whether, because to this, like, it could have been like an intruder. I don't know. Or it could have been a ghost. I have no idea. But, like, it scared the crap out of me.
Well, did you hear the story? Okay, so I'm going to try and make this quick because I actually have two stories along with this new story. So there was a story of the lady who thought her house was haunted, and they found a tiny Asian woman living in her cupboard.
Yeah.
And so they discovered that's why she thought it was haunted. There was all these sounds. Food was going missing, doing all this weird stuff was happening. and they found it was like a 4 foot, like 6-inch Asian woman living in her cupboard.
Well,
Jeez.
Yeah, it was years ago, but so 2 stories, and I guarantee I shared at least one of these when you shared that story, maybe before or after. And we swapped a couple of these stories, and then we were laying in bed getting ready to go to sleep, and Craig or one of us goes, "Should we turn on the lights?"
Yeah.
So we did. But we were at home once when I was a kid. I was a kid in this one, but my sister and like all of my siblings that were home were kind of crowded around a computer. My parents were gone. Nobody else was there but like us 4. And we were reading a story. My sister looked up scary stories to read us. And we were reading a story about Jack the Ripper. And downstairs, one of the doors slammed.
Oh,
And it like slammed. Nobody was home. There was no windows open. That door never happened before. That never happened since in my house. Because like, you know, some places will have doors that will like be leaning or something, and occasionally they'll slam from a gust of wind.
Yeah, or somebody will open another door and it'll just send like a wave through the house.
Yeah. So we were all in one place, and we went and looked. Like we went downstairs to see if there was windows open that created a draft or anything like that. Nobody was there, and scared the crap out of us. We went to the park.
Yeah.
And like didn't stay at home. When my parents got home, we went back. Also, fast forward, we moved to a different house. My room when I was a teenager was the room at the very end of the hall, and on one side that we have like this attic that is a little bit low key creepy. And then on the other side you have the door to the hallway that leads downstairs, but it's the last room. So you have the attic and then my room, and there's no other rooms past it.
Nice.
So one night I was up late reading, as I often do, and I was actually not even reading a scary book, but I heard a scratch on my door. Like, and it wasn't like, because you know you have mice that scratch in the walls sometimes. It was like a scratch that went all the way down from the top of my door to the bottom.
Oh gosh.
And at first I heard it, and I was like, I think I'm just imagining things. And I just started reading again. And then it happened again.
Oh.
And then it happened again. And it kept happening at infrequent intervals. And then there was one where it was accompanied by what sounded like footsteps and then a rapid scratching. And I was freaked out.
Yeah.
The only weapon, and so the thing is that was the door. That wasn't the door to the attic. If that had been the door to the attic, I would have died. Like, that was the door that led to the hallway that led downstairs. So in order to get downstairs away from my room, I had to go through that door. So the only weapon I had was like this 3-inch pocket knife blade that I had. Maybe 2-inch pocket knife blade that I had. And so I like flipped that open, and I had already opened the door to see if any of my siblings were out there messing with me. There's nobody there. So you're not supposed to run with knives, but I flipped that knife open and I sprinted downstairs.
Nice. That's terrifying. I don't know what I would do in that scenario. I think I would have just stayed in my room and just like opened the window and got ready to jump.
I don't know. It was terrifying. If I hadn't already opened the door, I might have done the same thing. But so it scratched once, and my house is old, so it makes noises sometimes.
Yeah, but not like scratching noises. Those are
Yeah.
well, how do you know?
But even still, like mice.
I guess.
I'd heard mice scratching in the walls before.
Mm-hmm.
So when it scratched once, I was like, oh, okay, that was freaky. And then I went back to reading. And then it scratched again, and I was like, okay, that's really freaky. So I went and opened the door, and nothing was there. So if I hadn't opened the door early on, I probably wouldn't have. The thing that's scary about my house, too, is it's really old. And so there's a lot of history. And the owner previous to us, his wife died in our house.
Oh, really?
And then he moved out because his wife died.
Dang.
I think your house is pretty peaceful.
Generally, no, I haven't had... that was my main creepy experience in my house.
Yeah, our house was like brand new construction when we got it, but I had some weird experiences there too. Like I don't know if you guys have ever, in the middle of the night sometimes I would lay there and stuff in my room would just randomly fall. Like
I've
it
had
would
that
be
happen.
stuff, like everything would be perfectly fine, nothing would be like balanced precariously, and I would just sit there for like days where I wouldn't touch any shelves or anything, and then like I would be laying there late at night and then all of a sudden just something random would just fall off my desktop. or just fall off my shelf, and it's like it was just fine for weeks. Like, why all of a sudden now did it fall? Like, I don't know. That kind of stuff always like freaked me out.
Generally at home, I'm not bothered. I did work at a store that had this basement back room that was so dingy and so like it was not very well built at all. And there was a lot of rumors in the store about a ghost. And I had stuff fall off of shelves that should not have fallen off of shelves there that freaked me out. Williams, do you have anything? Have you been
Honestly,
scared?
like...
Here, let me...
Williams is just a man. He doesn't...
No.
Williams, let me help you. I'll share a scary one for you.
Is it about wheat?
No. Okay, first
Gluten?
off... Okay, I have 2 scary stories then. Bread.
No.
And the second one, this one's really scary.
Okay.
By my house currently, there's a lake. And it's filled with water.
Oh, shoot.
How deep is the lake, though?
It's pretty deep.
It's at least 2 feet.
It's pretty deep.
You don't know what might be lurking in 2 feet of water.
Exactly. Williams.
Scary.
Under the depths. Honestly, growing up, me and my siblings never really cared for or touched scary stuff. My parents really weren't into it too much. And so there was nothing really to fear from that angle. On occasion, like, my siblings and I were worried like someone might break in or something. I remember as a kid, a couple of my siblings actually had the problem where they're just really paranoid about locking all the doors in the house.
Yeah.
And so, like, we were safe perfectly, even if someone did try and break in, they would not be having a fun time.
That reminds me, I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but there was like the 12-year-old kid in Texas who these robbers broke in to his home and he shot them.
The 12-year-old did?
Yeah, the 12-year-old did, and then he made fun of them for crying. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's what they get. I remember, like, we were super cautious around the, like, Elizabeth Smart time when she got kidnapped.
Oh, that's his right around this area, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, listen, I don't care what they tell you. As soon as you see anyone in the house that you don't recognize, you scream at the top of your lungs and you just run. And if you can't run, you just throw whatever you can at them or do whatever you can. Because I guess how they got her, or how the dude got her, was he like broke into her window and then said, if you make a noise, I will kill you and everyone in your family. But like, in reality, if she would have screamed, he would have probably just ran.
Yeah, probably.
And I mean, if not, like, she was kidnapped for like years and years and years. So like, I don't know. Like, it's scary. Crap happens. But
Yeah. We haven't even talked about the scary people stories.
oh,
We'll just leave those ones for another time.
Yeah. There's some
Now-
freaky people out there.
yeah, we should do that as another.
I don't know. I
Maybe
mean, my
I
little
just think it's
sisters
scary.
listen to this. I don't know if I want to like
You're scarring
freak
the
them
guys.
out.
Now is the time that I would have pulled out the Ouija board, though.
If you had
and we would have played around with it.
Oh,
I know you guys are big fans of that.
Yeah, no.
No, my
Yeah,
dad.
no.
My dad has told me some stories. So I had a great aunt who actually like was involved in some Ouija board stuff,
Really?
and he has told me some scary stories from that. I was going to talk Williams. You mentioned earlier how you never like touched scary stuff. I generally didn't, but when I was like going through big reading phase, I read scary stories to tell in the dark.
Really?
I have the
Do
trilogy
you?
hardback here. Heck
Do you?
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I read
I
all
love
of them.
that.
And
it's so good.
definitely big mistake though. When I was that
Yes.
age, I was terrified. I reread
Well, because
them.
they're children's books.
Yeah.
Are
they
they?
freaked me out.
Oh,
I
they
remember
freaked
our
It was always a
teachers
race.
like
It
reading
was
a
always a
couple
race
of
in
them.
the elementary school to see who could get to the books first to
Yeah.
rent them out.
Yeah.
I always had them.
Well, and a lot of
So
them,
good.
I read them as an adult, and they're not as creepy. The illustrations are scary.
Oh my
as
gosh,
freak,
yeah.
man.
I would go grab it, but I'm kind of trapped in here.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Also, we can't really show it, but like the illustrations
but to show
honestly
Williams,
make
I
it.
can show you after.
Yeah. The illustrations make it the scariest. I remember being a kid, and like a certain page would open up, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
they're so freaking scary.
So good.
There's the story of the kid who stays in the house, and the like head rolls down the chimney.
Yeah.
Me tie low tie something.
Me tie Doty Walker. Yeah.
Totally local.
Yeah.
The head. So he's staying in this house, and he hears. Wait. Okay, really quick, Craig. let me see. Should we do like an excerpt? Except it would probably take a minute to find.
Yeah,
Where's your books?
it's in the other room. It's in the bedroom, I believe. It's probably on the ground.
Right there on the nightstand.
Or on the nightstand.
Really?
I think so. Let's see if you can find it. No, I
think my elementary teacher read a couple of them.
They're so
told
good.
Stories to us.
I actually have played with a Ouija board in the past.
Maybe this is why
we
all
had
these
a
things
prop.
are happening to
I
you,
know.
Craig.
Yeah, exactly. We had a prop because I was in stage tech. Yeah, and we had a
They're
prop.
that big for kids?
They're pretty big.
Well, because that's like the 3. There's 3 books in that.
Oh,
Are we allowed to read directly from a book?
Nobody cares.
I don't know.
As long as it's like transformational.
I'm trying to find.
Or don't read the whole story, just summarize.
Most of the
if you
stories
see
aren't.
what
It
very
should be.
long.
I believe we've read it, Kylie and I already, so it should be towards the beginning.
At the beginning?
No, so we had a Ouija board as a prop in high school in the theater class, and we played with it. Some of the kids got spooked out, but it did not bother me.
Yeah,
at all.
see, it's not super long. I'll read it quickly. So, there was a haunted house where every night a bloody head fell down the chimney.
You think that after a couple of nights that you would.
Williams, I'm reading a story. Okay.
Williams is just trying to transform it. So
yeah,
we don't.
he just doesn't want it to be scary. Williams, we know it's scary. We both read it. At least that's what people said. So nobody would stay there overnight. Then a rich man offered $200 to whoever would do it, and this boy said he would try if he could have his dog with him. So it was all settled. The very next night, the boy went to the house with his dog.
I feel like it ended up being more of a toy to the dog.
Yeah, you'll see.
To make it more cheerful, he started a fire in the fireplace. Then he sat in front of the
That's
fire
pretty smart.
and waited.
Yeah.
And his dog waited with him. For a while, nothing happened. But a little after midnight, he heard someone singing softly and sadly off in the woods. The singing sounded something like this.
I lost my head.
Me tie do tie walker. It's just somebody singing, the boy told himself, but he was frightened. Then his dog answered the song, softly and sadly. It said, Lin chi kin chi kali molly dingo dingo. The boy could not believe his ears. His dog had never uttered a word before. Then
that wasn't really a word.
Well, he was trying, Williams. Don't judge him. That was
It's a dog.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's not enough for you?
Oh, so the head makes sense.
Williams, you're leaving people on the edge of their seats right now.
Oh.
The boy could not believe his ears. His dog had never uttered a word before. Then,
Still hadn't.
a few minutes later, he heard the singing again. Now it was closer and louder, but the words were the same. Me tie do tie walker. This time, the boy tried to stop his dog from answering. He was afraid that whoever was singing would hear it and come after them. But his dog paid no attention. And again it sang, Lin chi kin chi kali molly dingo dingo. A half hour later, the boy heard the singing again. Now it was in the backyard, and the song was the same. Me tie do tie walker. Again the boy tried to keep his dog quiet, but the dog sang louder than ever. Lin chi kin chi kali molly dingo dingo. Soon the boy heard the singing again. Now it was coming down the chimney. Me tie do tie walker. The dog sang back. Lin chi kin chi kali molly dingo dingo. Suddenly, a bloody head fell out of the chimney.
I hate it when that happens.
It missed the fire and landed right next to
It
the
missed
dog.
the fire?
The dog took one look and fell over, dead from fright. The head turned and stared at the boy. Slowly it opened its mouth, and boom! You're supposed to scream. It says turn to one of your friends and scream, but I don't think that would pick up the microphone very well.
Yeah, that would have done a number on the old podcaster's ears.
All that to say,
that's what it looked like.
The pictures.
That's the picture.
The pictures. There's all sorts of pictures in
flip
there.
Through these pictures. You can just flip through them afterwards, I guess.
All right.
But you guys have been gifted with a scary story.
Now imagine you're like
from good old Schwartz and
now
Sam.
Imagine you're like a third grader.
Yeah.
And you're reading those
in your room
in the dark.
Late at night.
Oh, that was me. It's so good. So scary.
So scary. That's about
So you're one of those who likes to feel scared.
I do, but I hate it at the same time.
I kind of
because I have,
but I did read those books, so that suggests there's something there.
Because I have on occasion had like sleep paralysis. Have either of you guys had that?
Oh, I've had
Oh,
that
where
like
you-
twice,
I
and
had
I
it like
hated
I've
it.
had it like 7 or 8 times, and
Oh
I
my
had it
goodness.
most recently like last week.
Oh no.
And I was laying there in my bed with Kylie, and I kind of like partially woke up, and anyway, things just kept like coming into the room and like torturing me, and all I could do was like lay there, and I kept getting like my knees bent the wrong way or like stabbed, and like there was one time where Kylie like in my dream rolled over, grabbed me, and started being very kind and gentle, and then she's like slowly transformed into some sort of monster. And, not fun.
That does not sound
hate it.
ideal.
I've only
I
had sleep
hate it.
paralysis like twice, but it's creepy. Have you heard that supposedly many people who've had sleep paralysis have seen the same woman? Like
I've heard of the Hat Man, where it's like a dude, a shadow figure of like a dude with like a not like a top hat, but kind of like a shorter top hat.
yeah, so,
And I saw him, that last week.
So
he
the
was
first time-
just standing there at one point.
Can you
looking-
describe him? No.
He was just like a black shadow with like a hat on, and he was just standing behind Kylie, staring over Kylie's. Because I was just fine. We were just talking in the thing. She was talking to me, just sitting there, and then she like leaned to the side, and I could just see him standing there staring at me. And
see,
then she leans back, and it was weird. It
it's
was
so
wild.
freaking creepy. But I read an article on it when I was in high school because I had it happen for the first time. And there's 3 things that people see. There's like a woman who like walks in who will stand over your bed.
I've had that one.
And some people have said that they've had her stab them, but a lot of people have said she walks in, stands over your bed, and then leaves.
Yep.
There's a girl crying in the corner, and then the Hat Man. Those are the 3 things that are consistent among different
I don't
people
know that I've ever
who
had a
have
girl
never.
crying in the corner.
I had the girl crying in the corner. That's the only one that I've had of the 3. Thank goodness. And I hope to never have sleep paralysis again because it's terrible.
Sucks.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. Do you know what sleep paralysis is, Williams?
Well, I haven't heard it with these like dreams,
Yeah.
but you wake up and you're awake, but you can't move.
But you can't move. Yeah.
Exactly.
Basically, your brain, the part of your brain that shuts off your body while you sleep, so
Mhm.
you're not moving constantly,
It's still
yeah.
yeah.
active, but you're conscious because it's and so usually it doesn't.
So then
last very
combine that
long.
with like a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
It's
sometimes your
painful.
subconscious is still active,
So it'll
and so
conjure up
you
some
have
stuff.
yes dreams while you're awake. It's
I-
like the evil side of there's like lucid dreaming.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the bad side of that because it feels so real. Like it feels like it's actually happening because you're like awake, but you're not. It's bizarre. I had what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so in order to like wake up from it, I was like, I was struggling so hard because you can't move and you can't like scream. I was like fighting as hard as I could to scream as loud as I could, but I couldn't scream.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, I was struggling to like hyperventilate as much as I could, and so like I was consciously like putting as much effort into my
You're
breathing
trying to
as I possibly could.
hyperventilate,
And,
so you
and eventually
pass
I
out?
did like hyperventilate, and that's how I woke up. Is I woke up sweating so hard and just like breathing like crazy, and my stomach was like sore. It was
that happened to me.
it was so bad.
I like hyperventilated because I
Yeah.
was trying so hard to breathe and to you try and yell but you can't. Like so like I was trying to yell. In one of them was kind of mellow. In one of them I was very glad because I fell asleep on the couch and I was facing the couch, so I couldn't see anything.
Those
and
are
I was
also
like-
kind of the worst though.
Yeah, but I kind of was like happy because I didn't want to see anything.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I saw the girl crying, and then there was something where I was with somebody, like somebody was, like a family member or somebody was nearby, and I tried so hard to yell to them, but I couldn't.
I've had people like hear me like whimpering in the middle of the night because I had one when I was with Dougie
Oh.
in trio, and I was laying there on my side, and I saw the corner of my eye, this like black shadow, and it came up and it like grabbed my shoulder, and it like dug its
He's
teeth in, and
grabbing
it
my
came
shoulder,
in, and it
so
like
you know.
and it like started just whispering creepy crap into my ear that wasn't really like English.
Oh,
It was
I
just
don't like that.
whispering, and then I prayed, and then I just closed my eyes, and I just sat there, and the room just got super bright, and then I felt something just like tap me, and my whole body just went numb, and then I was out of it. It was weird. It was bizarre. So I'm grateful for that one. 'cause
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
pretty simple, easy
Yeah.
one to get rid of, but
Yeah.
Nice little fix there.
yeah, but super weird, super
Yeah.
off-putting. And then they thought I was crying in the middle of the night. They were like, "Yeah, we heard you whimpering, but we didn't know what was going on."
I thought you just missed your family.
Yeah, I guess. And then there was another one where I was laying there, and I don't remember who I was with, but like the foot of my bed went down the hall,
Mhm.
and like I was laying there, and I could see like down the hall, and I could just see things constantly coming in the door and leaving.
That would be terrible. I guess I was like that in Shreveport and Bossier, but
Oh, it was so bad. And then my companion heard me whimpering in that one, and he came over, and he the second he touched me, I snapped out of it and was like wide awake. And he was like, "Man, I've never seen somebody wake up that fast in my life." I was like, "Yeah, I was wide awake that whole time. I could not move."
yeah,
It's so bad. It's so bad.
it's I don't know. I hope you never experience it, William.
Well, thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Tonight,
Before this, Williams was like, "I'm afraid of water."
Yeah, now we show you what to really be
I'm afraid of
of.
sleeping. I can't. Never sleep again.
Yeah, pretty much. Ugh. It's the worst. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think that's all I've got.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
It's back to us then, Williams.
Well, we have one question that, you're our first guest, and so you're going to get the question, Craig. Are you a dirty dog or a silly goose?
So I've been considering this for a while because I saw this question coming from a mile away.
Can you? Well, because we told you about it. You've been in the behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Will you flip the light switch so I can see your expression while you speak? By the way, guys, just so you guys know, while we started talking about scary things, we're in this little room. We came to Craig for this. Craig turned off the light in this little room. So we've been talking in the darkness for, I kid you not, 20, 30 minutes.
It was kind of peaceful, though.
It was kind
I
of.
won't lie.
But I want to see your expression when you talk about this.
Okay. Am I a dirty dog or a silly goose?
And why?
I would propose to you a third option. I believe I am a chunky monkey. And I think it speaks for itself. That's all I got.
Williams, I don't know. Can we accept that as an answer?
I kind of like the answer.
The thing is if you had said something lame,
Yeah, we
I
would
would
have
have been like, no, you have to be a
written
dirty
that
dog or
off.
silly
If
goose.
I would have said like
But-
cool cat or
Yeah, or something like
pristine prairie dog.
you put a
Well,
lot
maybe
into
the
this.
prairie dog one would have kept.
That's fair.
If you had said something like that, I probably would have been like, but you had chonky monkey, which is pretty good. Like, okay, I think I respect that.
Yeah.
And we usually ask why, but you said it was self-explanatory. So
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So I think I can respect that answer.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm willing to go with it.
We're gonna create a third class, and it's actually a reference to one of Williams's songs. So you're gonna fall in that third class as fish out of water.
Okay, perfect.
So it's like silly gooses and dirty dogs are gonna be the most common. That's what we ask
Fish out of
people.
water.
They're gonna pick one side of that. But there's a third option of fish out of water, and if we get too many fishes out of water, then we'll know that they're not actually people who are exceptional. Just everybody's just trying to pick something original,
And that's what I was debating whether or not I wanted to like
Side with
creative
one?
as your first
Yeah.
guest. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
So okay,
But I do like the
let me
chonky monkey.
let me ask you this then: if you had to choose between silly goose and dirty dog, obviously you're a chonky monkey.
And
But
we're
which
not going
one?
to debate that.
Which one are you?
I do like the idea of silly goosery. Like I like goosing people.
Okay,
Real
so
good.
so far we have one silly goose / chunky monkey and one dirty dog.
Or more like
Who is
chunky
your-
monkey,
two
monkey
silly
/
gooses.
silly goose.
Well, Williams is the dirty dog.
Yeah.
So, all right.
There you go. Have fun editing around my rather
Spicy.
spicy use of profanity.
I love that you just listed it.
Yeah, you went through
But
like all
there's,
the options.
there's a few that you could probably leave in there. It's fine.
We're probably gonna leave some in there. Honestly, we could probably leave
just that first
most
one
or all
was
of them.
a
It's not
little-
like they've never heard the word,
Yeah.
but
I
Right,
couldn't
well,
think
for
of
the terms of
the one I
Spotify,
wanted.
because there's like explicit option. I don't know where that falls in
I don't know. Yeah, you might take out his first profanity.
The first one was
a
Okay,
little out
not
there.
my
Anyway,
Yeah.
on that note, guys, thank you guys for joining us. We
Yep.
will be back, actually probably later this week, because this was supposed to be last week's episode.
Yeah, we can blame
But,
Craig a little bit
one of us
and his
Had to
gallbladder
take out
removal.
our gallbladder.
It's just in time for Halloween if you guys get it uploaded today or tomorrow.
That's true.
You're right.
You're
right.
welcome.
Right on time.
At the end of the day.
So, thank you guys. Please eat and drink between this episode
Please.
and our
We
next
hope you did
episode.
between the last one and this
Yeah,
one.
because if you didn't, you guys are in real poor shape.
All right.
All right. Go ahead, Williams.
We will see you later. Or well, no, we won't see you.
No,
but
Williams, you
we'll-
got to give him our
you'll-
motto.
Oh.
You got to give him our motto. Are you an amateur, Williams? Do you even know how to do this?
I'm
can
trying.
Can I do the motto?
Do the
All right,
motto.
do the motto, Craig.
The motto is, hey guys, I don't care if you listen or not. Just be cool, man.